Hi there, how's everyone doing today? How's your self-care routine coming? This month we've been talking all about making time for me. And, we've talked about what self-care is, what it isn't, all the benefits that it can deliver, and hopefully you're just itching to get started. And, sometimes that taking that first step, getting started is the hardest part because you have to figure out where to start, what to do. And like we've discussed, there can be so many options, and sometimes inaction is just the easier path, the path of least resistance. But today I want to just share some tips for you on how to just jumpstart your self care routine, how to really get it going. In a way that it's something that you'll follow through with. So stay tuned for that. Before we go there, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nancy Brooker. I'm a relationship and stress coach. So I help women who feel stuck in a challenging relationship, whether it's with a partner, a child, a coworker, whatever that is, or even food or our own bodies, and often relationships, with ourselves. That monkey mind, those things we say to ourselves, just to be more clear about what's going on, how to work through whatever is causing that sort of stickiness for us, and what's building up that stress, and where's it coming from, and how can we work through that? How can we release some of those things to bring ourselves more freedom, more clarity, more joy, more happiness, more connection in our relationships? So let's get right into the do's and don'ts of starting your self-care routine. So number one, focus on the most important task first. So what do I mean by that? Well, if it's a health issue that's something that's really priority for you, maybe you want to look at what time you're going to sleep. Maybe that's part of your self-care routine. What time are you going to sleep? What time are you getting up? Maybe maybe you've got brain fog. Maybe you're not thinking clearly sometimes because you have a lot of stress, and sleep is going to be something that will really help make a big difference for you. So look at something like that. Look at strategies around your sleep. Turning off your electronics before bed, those sorts of things. So that might be where you start if energy or stress or sleep are issues for you. Could be somewhere else. There's always lots of options. Maybe the important thing is just to focus on one little thing that's going to make a difference for you wherever you're at. Again, not where anybody else is at. So number two, schedule self-care into your calendar. I don't know, I've done this myself where I actually like to meditate. If you'd asked me, maybe 3-4 years ago, I would have said you're crazy, I'll never be a meditator. But I find myself meditating now and I'm really enjoying it. And so sometimes I'll set a timer for the afternoon, 3:15 or 4 o'clock, just to take 10 minutes of like a timeout where I just, sit and sit with my own thoughts and just reflect on myself and have my little meditation time. Maybe maybe your timer goes off to remind you to just take some deep breaths at that time of the day. Or maybe that timer goes off to remind you to call someone and just say hi, or to send a text to somebody important in your life, or to look at your list of what makes you such a wonderful person. Hopefully you have written out that strengths list for yourself. Maybe the timer goes off to remind you to check that list and remind yourself of how amazing and awesome you really are. So set the timer. Make it a regular appointment, and don't cancel it. Make it a priority. It's not one of those appointments that you just wave off and don't do, right? So that's number two. Put it on your calendar. Number three, keep it simple. I say this for everything that people do. Whenever you want to get started with any goal, keep it as simple as possible, because if you complicate it too much, it's going to get overwhelming. You're going to get frustrated, and of course, you're just going to stop. You're just not going to follow through. It's near impossible to maintain any sort of complicated new like addition to your life, right? So start off really simple, start off really small, introduce things in little chunks, and take them or leave them, because sometimes you might introduce something and it's totally not working for you, and that's okay, because you are an individual. If it doesn't work for you, you can let it go and try something else. That's the beautiful part of self-care. So focus on simple habits first. Number 4, think about taking a self-care trip. If this is an option for you, a day at the spa with some girlfriends, or just even going yourself and having somebody pamper you, or go for a massage, or whatever that might be, something that relaxes and rejuvenates you, whatever that is. If that's an option for you, why not try it? Of course, it would be amazing. And number 5 is really get to know yourself, because, and I know I've said this I don't know how many times, but it's all about you. It's not about the next person. It's, what do you want from life? How do you want to be? How do you want to show up? What do you like? What don't you like? All of those sorts of things. That's what's really important, not what the next person's doing. So if you want the best results from your self-care practice, you're going to really need to get to know yourself better. So sometimes just getting to know yourself better is the self-care that you need. So just a couple things to avoid, though, too, right? Overcompensating, overindulging. Remember we talked last week about the end of the day and thinking, oh, that was a horrible day, and I'm just going to have all this Ben and Jerry's bin of ice cream or whatever. And we've all been there, so I don't, no judgment here. But just trying to remember to keep things in balance and keep things in moderation, right? And having, sometimes we go to the opposite end where we have too many, you days, me days, whatever you want to call them. So try not to go to the extreme either. So we're always in balance and moderation. So there you have it. 5 tips. Focus on the most important tasks first, the ones that are going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. Schedule it into your calendar. Keep it simple. Consider that self-care trip, if that's an option for you. And get to know yourself better. Take some time. Maybe you want to do it in a journal, whatever that is. So just remember that you are worth it. You are awesome and amazing. So don't forget, change your relationship status. Committed to growth, self-love, and inner peace. So I hope you enjoyed that. And next month we're going to be talking all about self-esteem and how to really help ourselves deal with that inner critic in our mind, that, the one that is always saying those things to us that we would never say to another person, but for some reason we feel okay saying them to ourselves. So let's dig into that in the upcoming weeks. Come join me on Facebook at Living in Yes. Let's connect on my website, www.nancybrooker.ca. And don't forget to grab your freebies down below. So thanks so much for listening, and we will chat again soon.